Yo, testing, 1 2 1 2. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've disappeared. Why am I back? I have no idea. I've been doing TikToks, movie reviews on TikTok. But my sister's boyfriend was like, "You should do that on YouTube. If they're just as long," I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Give something for whoever's still following or subscribed. But I'm back. I'm gonna do 2 reviews, maybe not. We'll see. But the first one, for sure, guaranteed, that I just saw today, Over Your Dead Body. I don't know. Maybe a sound effect. I don't edit these. I don't do edits. I just record and then upload. I'm not that. I'm not that smart yet. We're not there yet. So, anyways, but the movie Over Your Dead Body just came out this weekend under Michael, which is another other movie I saw this weekend, which I may or may not get to. But this movie was so fun, surprised me. It has heart to it, and it is a very, very funny movie. Like, very funny. Like, this is classified as a comedy, and the comedy is there. I didn't know much going into this movie besides just, it stars Jason and Samara. And then maybe I saw like the teaser trailer back when it first came out in theaters. And so with that, I just knew it was a husband and wife that were trying to kill each other. And that's it. That's all I knew. And I'm so glad that's all I knew, because this movie was great. I had fun with it. And Jason and Samara have such great chemistry in this film. At first, I was like, I wasn't so sure. But then over time, especially once we get to the cabin, their chemistry is there. Their back and forth banter, and throughout the film, like what they go through and everything, it really shows the type. Obviously, Jason, he's very comedic, but it also shows that Samara has what's it called? She has comedic chops too. I'm doing this in public. I get shy when people are around. Anyways, but yeah, and also what I wasn't expecting, what I will say up front, in case you're not into gore and like blood and all that, there is a lot of gore, like horror type gore. It's not a horror movie, but like the type of gore that's in there, it's like it looks like it comes out from a horror movie, And that surprised me. And the way some of the scenes with the gore play comedically, so it makes the scene even more funnier. And my theater today was full, so throughout the film, everyone was laughing. And in those scenes that I'm talking about with the gore, you hear that ooh, that all that the noises people make when you see gore on screen, especially in a theater. But it made it for such a fun and entertaining environment and atmosphere in the film and throughout the film, And I think I said it. Samara and Jason had great chemistry. They really brought the story to life, and all the supporting casts. The only supporting cast I knew was Timothy Olyphant. I think that's his name. I could be wrong. But that's the only guy I knew. I forgot from where. But I knew him from somewhere. But he was great. And the other 2 people he's with that are in his like group, they're great too. And one of Jason's friends is also great. And his dad's also great. And all these characters are just so great in this film. That's all I'm really trying to say. I'm not trying to say like who's who and what. But they're all great, and they all bring different type chops of comedic moments throughout this film with each character. And one thing I did also love from the comedy is just Samara Weaving. Because obviously, I knew her from like the Ready or Not films, which are like funny. They're funny too, but they're more horror based, slasher type films. And I feel like this film really brought more of a sense of comedic chops that I haven't seen from Samara Weaving in a film before. Or maybe she has been in a comedy film, and I haven't seen it. The only one I could think of is The Valet, but I don't think she was she had some like comedic lines in it, but not like comedic like in this film, if that makes sense. And then the way the story plays out, I liked it. I'm not gonna say how it plays out, but it's one of my favorite things that I like when films do it correctly. There was a film last year that did something similar in a different way. I'm not gonna say what film or what it was, but it plays around with that type of what's it called, like storyline, if that makes sense, like how the story plays out. And I really enjoyed it. And there is a scene that they used that for comedy purposes, and it was very funny. And what else? Yeah, the movie's great. It was a surprise for me. I think right now, from the movies I've seen so far that have come out this year, I haven't seen much of the streaming movies, so I can't really speak about that. But from the movies I've seen in theaters this year, I think this is probably my top 5 so far of the year. I do know we still have a whole second half of the year, more than half of the year, but this movie will probably end up in like an honorable mention, if not in my top 10, maybe my top 20. Who knows? Probably top 20 for sure. But this movie was very fun, and I had a great time with it. And one more thing before I end it, there is a cameo. Well, for me, it's a cameo because I love the guy as an actor. And from the first movie I saw him in to some of his stuff he's done outside of film, I think they used him great. They used his like presence for good use, his cameo for good use. Especially if he did have like a body transformation and for the film he was doing, but they didn't really use it correctly. Well, not that they didn't use it, but they didn't really, I guess, show it off as much as this film did exactly. And he has shown it off in other films, I think, in recent years that he's been in. But the way it plays off in this film, it's very funny. And I was surprised. I was clapping. I was like, "Oh, it's my boy." I mean, I don't know him, but I like to say I know him. Anyways, the movie is a blast. If you're looking for something romantic, which there is like romantic aspects to this film before I finish. And there is a sense of heart on like what love is, which I'm not gonna get into. I like with all like anything that involves love, I'm like yes, yes, yes. But for me, this movie was amazing. I had fun. Such a surprise. On Letterboxd, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. How I rate my movies is I always double it by 2, times it by 2. So that's out of 10. So 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10 stars, 8 out of 10 for me. And for me, it is worth seeing in theaters just for that experience. Yeah, you could wait for it to come onto streaming, but you gotta support like these smaller films because they don't make, obviously you're also gonna end up with like the big franchise films, which are cool, but like the independent films, little comedy films like this do need our love and support in the theaters, so we keep making more of these in theaters and not have them straight to streaming, which they did make a little joke about streaming, which I thought was very funny. I was like, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But yeah, great film. Go check it out in theaters if you can. A film like this probably won't be in theaters for more than, I want to say, 3 weeks. Then they start like start limiting the screens due to like other bigger releases, which I think next month does have a lot of. So please go check it out in theaters. Go support theaters. And yeah, 8 out of 10 for Over Your Dead Body. Thank you, and until next time.